Ψάχναμε πολύ καιρό, δεν βρίσκαμε.
We've been searching for months. It was very difficult. The rents are just too high and the apartment's too small, and there's barely any availability. But I got lucky and I found one around 500 euros.
While Andreas may count himself fortunate to find a roof over his head, it still comes at a price this university student's family says they cannot afford.
Based on my family's income, it would be extremely difficult or even impossible for them to support me throughout my study years. I won't have a choice but to find a part-time job if I want to continue my studies.
Like Andreas, many young Greeks will be leaving their hometowns to start a student life this fall. For the majority, finding and paying for accommodation is a big concern. It's common for students to seek off-campus housing as the waiting list for university dorms is more than 3 years. And the shortage is not just experienced in extreme housing markets like Athens or Thessaloniki, but in smaller cities as well. The housing market in Greece has seen a sharp rise in the past few years, especially as the country emerged from the decade-long financial crisis. In the past 5 years alone, prices nationwide increased by 45%, with an annual basis rise of 15%, well above inflation. But why is this happening? Well, for a few years now, tourism seasons overlap academic school years, with landlords preferring to rent to visitors rather students. Real estate consultants say that the problem students are facing are likely to get even worse.
Η διαθεσιμότητα φοιτητικών κατοικιών
The availability of housing for students decreases every year. One of the reasons is that there is no new construction of on-campus housing or apartments targeting students. Another reason is many of the existing apartments for students are now only available on websites for short-term renting, and we will see this increasing in the coming years.
To tackle the increase in prices, the government of Kyriakos Mitsotakis has announced new housing developments and an increase in student housing allowance from $1,000 to $1,500 per academic term. Meanwhile, the country continues to deal with the cost of living crisis. Having secured an apartment, Andreas Fikas might be one of the lucky students, but with winter still ahead, heating that apartment is another concern. Evangelos Sipsas for CGTN, Athens.